Good morning, YouTube. I'm gonna open up a little bit and admit it, that patience and perseverance are the key to one thing, and I want to get to the bottom of it and figure out, concepts in order to find my true meaning of the day in and day out, because I'm gonna keep trying to win the lottery and fail every time because I don't have the mentality that it took to get there. Because silence is a requisite of success. And I'm not a quiet reader, and I'm not an avid reader, and I'm a novice bibliophile. And what happens is that the texts change and the contexts change right in front of you when you're not willing to cooperate with something that God didn't create for you. So sometimes it takes a lot to sort of reach heights that aren't really meant to be illustrated as anything else but a passage um, amongst communities and community members. And it's hard right now to see that because before the virus outbreak, the world was a dangerous place, and after this outbreak, the world will be a dangerous place. And it's just it's disrespectful right now to think that people have time for each other. People don't reach out to each other like like in La La Land, where I picture everybody, having a boyfriend or girlfriend or a wife or a husband and being in love and, having like this shitty comical relationship that, with kids and single guys like me, we get a single kick out of it every second, It's just we don't exploit it enough, we don't talk about it enough. And it sucks because we forget our families, and the family is so important, I know I laugh less at my family every day, and people laugh at me for it, but um, you know, I'm just not. I'm not the guy right now that ladies are looking to be with because, I'm far from being your ideal hookup, because uh, of so many things, I just like to keep the ball rolling, and I don't want to disrespect the code, but at the same time, I don't want to stick to that either. This is, the only way I'm gonna exploit myself is by making less and less and less money, But if I can't find a way to make money, it's just a matter of the fact that, breaking the code to truly find your nook, to sit and make money, or to live freely and move freely and make money is difficult. So, if you ever sat down and thought, stood up and thought, you know, billionaires, they hit you in the face because think about your billionaire idea, a supermarket, a grocery store chain, billionaire. What did they do to get that company started? That type of thinking is unconventional, And to me, it's unconventional to think that somebody built that with their hands. And for that to be true, I think is actually more possible, when you start to talk about it and say something like that, because businesses run on cash and you can't afford to employ people if your business isn't making profits. So whatever strategies kind of work around that are hard to, break into reality when you're somebody who doesn't know better like me. So, I could come up with 1,000 business ideas and tell you I would have to get the money to make the product or build the product and service and make $1 million in sales, over $1 million in sales by myself, with myself, just by myself, make over $1 million selling a product or service under a company domain. Businesses, they move much more silently than YouTube, which is the thing, is I'm on YouTube talking about things that don't make sense to me instead of doing those things because I don't know how to get to the point, It's like it's not really a mental disability. It's just I want to work from home so badly, and I just want it to work so badly, but I don't know, how to make shampoo or how to build a grocery store brand or a supermarket brand. And the first thing that comes to mind when somebody tries to push me into it way too much is to sue them, you know, because they're being too notorious. They're being too, irresponsible. Coming up to me with that brashness that doesn't really exist, right? So, people have some sort of a seizure when you try to discuss something like that with yourself, you know, and that's a problem, because hog tying is a big issue right now. You know, a lot of people won't wonder actually what the point is of bringing on employees after you make $1 million by yourself in your company. Your employees are going to run your business for you. You're going to own whatever percentage of the company you can get your hands on. And if your company makes $5 million next year with employees because you're staffing and recruiting, you know, those are things that that become jeopardized because employees are irresponsible, customers are irresponsible, customers that come into your grocery store are disrespectful employees, and other community members can gang up on you and try to exploit you or something, or try to hog tie you or something. And those are the types of things that scare me when it comes to wanting to start my own company. And it might be the thing that scares me the most, but it's not the only thing that scares me that much, because like I said, I can't even picture myself making over $1 million a year right now, just trying to build some sort of a product or service from scratch. And saying, the most interesting thing for me to do would be to try to put way more hours of video on YouTube to see the results of that, and sort of try to think about it by myself in my free time, or while I'm recording, while I'm not recording, how interesting it is that I'm making, YouTube videos instead of making shampoo or software or whatever it could be. And say, people won't think that I'm going to succeed at YouTube. And people compared to if I tried to make clothes and sell clothes or whatever it is, the business, it comes down, to share resources. And right now, I feel like a lot of the stuff you see on the news is just too much of that, and people just don't have a voice right now, especially employees who work for companies already. We don't have a voice. I mean, watch Frontline's Amazon episode. Nobody has a voice, and you can't try to target the CEOs of those companies because they have human rights too, and you shouldn't try to, because they have human rights too, and they're I don't want to try to defend anybody, because I'm not in a position to defend any CEO right now. No. So having a voice is just so respectable. But yeah, nobody's gonna respect you. It's just something you respect about yourself. So you have to conduct a case study of every American from that was born from 1990 to 2020, and see, what was everybody's story. And sort of try to get some some groundwork to see exactly where we are at a political standpoint, to try to understand why it's so difficult to make money running a company. But then again, tomorrow morning you might have a different mindset, and you might try reading the books, and you might be like me and say, well, making a YouTube video about it right now just seems so much more easy. Or in reality, it doesn't seem easy to do that sort of thing at all, when the people who do it so easily. So, it's a little disappointing to find out I'm just not that type of individual with the personality to build $1 million company, build $1 billion company today or this year, So, a lot of people think that's psychopathy. I agree, It's not that I'm psychopathic, but it's just my fear of failing is really much more of a, of a hindrance than that, It's more like false documentation or something like that, like Like, my business just isn't going to happen. So, yeah.